Tom Cole is here. Good morning, Tom.
Morning, Dub. Good
Thanks
to be here.
Thanks so much for coming and seeing us so early this morning. You've got this wonderful show coming up at the North Peace Cultural Center called Just a Little Haggard, which also happens to be the name of kind of your latest album. Why don't we start with the album itself? Why don't you tell us a bit about it, what you did on it, and why?
You know, I've always been a fan of Merle Haggard. So through the quarantine, that was a project that we all did in our basements. All the musicians played on it from their homes and whatever. And so that was our quarantine project. And then we thought, well, we should do a show with some of those tunes in it. So as the title says, the show will have just a little bit of Haggard stuff in it because we're going to do some of our own originals, and then there's just some fun songs that we like to do. So it'll just be a fun night. We'll have some trivia, and maybe we'll tell some jokes or something too.
Nice. I want to talk a bit about that time during the pandemic because, of course, you were also doing these. I'm going to screw up the name. Homebound, I think the concert's
That's
called?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, you were doing these wonderful concerts where you and your pals were playing music together as sort of, I guess, a way to pass time and keep music going because, of course, all your venues where you could have been playing were closed during that time. But then you say this sort of Haggard thing came up. Were you just finding you were playing some Merle Haggard and you were like, I think we should do a whole album because we just love him so much, kind of like you say.
Yeah, that's part of it. But I've wanted to do one for a long time. So like kind of a tribute album. So the CD has, I guess it's 12 Merle Haggard songs on it, and then we tried to put some of the popular ones, and then also some of the more obscure recordings that he did too. So at the time when we were doing the homebound stuff, we had set up our equipment so that we could, play together.
Yeah.
And through that was actually kind of a scary time. I thought, it was very uncertain, and we thought it was probably important to do something normal. For people, and upbeat. And it kept us kind of sane too, I think. So we had a reason for us musicians to talk to each other, and then since how we had that set up so that we could record all of the music, we just kept going and did a few CDs too. So.
Now, I'm not going to pretend I know tons about Merle Haggard. I did have to look this up, so don't give me credit for anything. But, I mean, he had a 40-something year career, even closer to 50. He was doing hits for most of that time. Like, he had 38 number ones and whatnot. How did you decide on the 12 songs you were going to do from such a huge repertoire of his, right?
Yeah, it was a big list. So most of it was just stuff that meant something to me, like probably every song that's on there, I had a reason for it. Like there was back in the 70s, there was a TV show called Moving On, and it was about truck drivers. Truck driving was very popular in those days, and I remember as a kid in elementary school, I was out doing my chores, and I was singing this the theme song from that, and then and I said to myself, geez, that actually sounded pretty good. And that's when the idea came into my head that I should try and sing a bit, so so that song was important to me. I wanted to put that on there, and so there's probably just some little story with every song there.
See.
So but you're right, it was a huge long list, and we had to really trim them down to make it fit on a CD.
Wonderful. Now we're going to hear your interpretation of Moving On in just a few minutes. You're saying that song that Merle Haggard did, Moving On, was the theme song for the show?
Yes.
Moving On? I see. Okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
And that was kind of my introduction to Merle Haggard as a kid, So and then of course he was becoming very popular, and more songs were being released, and that was the music that really inspired me to want to play music.
Yeah, there you go. All right. And you said this show that you're coming up with on Saturday night at the North Peace Cultural Center. just a little Haggard. You're going to play a few Haggard songs, but you're also going to play some originals and kind of some other stuff you like to do. Eh?
And then we're having the whole band is going to be there. Bo Hughes is coming up from Salmon Arm to play steel for us.
Wow.
And of course, Clint Giesbrecht will be there and do a few songs. And the Wilms family are coming in, and they're going to do some bluegrass tunes for us.
Nice.
And yeah, so it should be a well-rounded evening.
Excellent. Well, you can get your tickets now at npcc.bc.ca. Of course, you can also visit the North Peace Cultural Center box office when they open up. I think they open at 9 or 10 o'clock. You can give them a call as well to get your tickets, and you're going to get them. They're going to run out fast. So anything else you want to say, Tom, before I let you go this morning?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to, the people from this community have supported us so much in the past. I just appreciate everybody. I'm really looking forward to seeing them.
Awesome. It's going to be a great show. Thanks for being here, Tom.
Thank you.